Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Right now, waiting on the line, really keen to talk to her about this, is Marie Burke, National Coordinator for Farmer Time in Schools. Marie, g'day, welcome to the show. Thanks so much. Really appreciate your time. Now, I may have spoken to you about this in the past or one of your predecessors. This is an amazing program. Tell us about this. This is really cool.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, you spoke to me last year about it. So, yeah, Farm Time for Schools is relatively new in New Zealand. This is our 5th year of connecting farmers and other food and fibre producers with our primary and intermediate school students. So, yeah, it kind of acts like a virtual field trip, I suppose. Back in my day at school, you'd all jump on a bus and go for a trip somewhere. This is all done via the internet, so Zoom or whatever platform that people choose. And the children don't have to go anywhere. They can visit the farm from the comfort of their classroom with the teacher and support. So, and they can do it more than once. So every fortnight is what we do with our program mostly. So the kids get to actually see, that production across seasons and even, in different parts of the country to where they live.
Absolutely. And my understanding is you've got 39 different farmers around the country who are taking part in this, 40-odd schools, and it's funded and supported by Beef and Lamb. It's a Beef and Lamb initiative, this one, is it?
It is, yes. It's been brought into the country from the UK by Beef and Lamb New Zealand. That was back during our COVID lockdown times. And they have stood it up and got it going because they see it's a vital program to sort of support the future of the primary industries, but it's actually pan-sector. So we have farmers involved from across the whole spectrum almost of the industry. So, right from mushroom growers to goat milkers, pig farmers, sheep and beef and dairy, obviously, citrus, all sorts.
And what years are involved in this?
Years 0 to 8 at the moment. So your little 5-year-olds starting school right through to the end of intermediate. That's where we're placed at the moment.
So I can imagine the kids absolutely love it. In fact, I was seeing the report that you've put out, and the teachers absolutely love it as well. They think this is one of the best things. One of them said, literally, one of the best things since sliced bread.
Yeah, we love getting that sort of feedback, but it's across the board. Pretty much those teachers who put their hand up to have a go at this thing really enjoy it. It does so much for their students. So, it's real life learning. So it helps to, engage some of those children that maybe aren't that keen on sitting in a classroom, but if they can talk to a farmer, see what they're doing, and get involved and ask questions, then it engages them with their learning. And they can see our farmers out there are having to use maths, they're scientists, they're having to use reading and writing and all those skills that the kids are learning in class and might not think there's any real reason to have to do it.
Maria, it's also my understanding that it's not just the farmers actually just maybe sitting in front of a camera or around the kitchen table. They're actually out showing them and doing some of the work and jobs while they are got the kids' attention while they're watching them.
Yep, there's a few different ways to do it. That's definitely one of the ways that it happens. You can be in your sheep or cattle yards or out mustering in a tractor even, whatever you're doing. So long as you've got Wi-Fi, you can talk to them live and do your session. But a lot of us don't have that sort of connectivity on our farm. So it's simple. You just take a short video when you're out doing your bits and pieces, and then you can send that in to the teacher. They show it to the class. And then when you do your live connection, it might just be from the office or somewhere closer to home where you've got a good connection. So there's many different ways of skinning this cat. It's just so long as the kids get to see what's happening and can ask you the questions, it works really well.
Marie, how long is each session typically?
Depends a little bit on the age of the students. So obviously your 5 and 6-year-olds haven't got that long attention span. So they might only do 15 to 20 minutes, and the teacher can easily gauge how things are going from their end, and they're in control of really setting that sort of time limit. But some of our intermediate and upper primary school groups, they might get going and be still going 45 minutes later. It's quite addictive. So once the kids start asking the questions, especially once they've got to know their farmer, they can just go on and on and on. So usually the teacher has to call an end, or the bell goes for lunch, or whatever. But it depends a bit too on the farmer's availability. So if you've only got a 20-minute slot that week, you can just let the teacher know and it comes to an end. It's really, really flexible.
So that was actually what I was going to ask next. So each class, one individual farmer, do they dip in and out, multiple farms? Do they stay with them a season? What's the format for the, for the school, for the farmer himself?
Yeah, once again, pretty flexible. So depending on the teacher, really. So sometimes they will contact me and say, look, next term we are studying communities, and we want to know how farmers, support our communities. And so that will only be one term. We just did that with our class at Ariwa Beach. They were just studying something for a term that would relate. So that's all we did this year with them. A couple of years ago, we were with them for the whole year. It just depends how it fits with the teacher's planning and how they can squeeze it in here and there. Usually, the majority will be with, like we've got one teacher who's been with their farmer for pretty much the whole four years, and we've been with Ariwa Beach on and off for the whole 4 years. So it varies.
And what about the schools themselves? Are we talking predominantly urban schools wanting to get a little bit of a rural fix, or is it a mixture?
When we began the program, we thought our target market would be just the urban schools, because obviously that's where the greatest need is, we thought. And we had quite a bit of interest from rural schools as well. So when I looked into it a bit deeper, most of our rural schools nowadays, especially if they're within half an hour of a town or a city, they've got a lot of lifestyle block children, or children who are driven out to a country school for that schooling experience. So actually, there aren't many rural schools that don't have quite a few children that benefit as well. But yeah, definitely, the big city centres is a key place for us to be. But what I do, because it's a Zoom program, I can match a school in Auckland with a farm in Southland and vice versa. So my rural teachers, when they sign up, I find out from them what region they're in and what is grown in the region. So I find out what the kids already know about, and then I might match somebody from a dairy area with a horticulture grower, or with a sheep and beef farmer, or, so they learn just as much. They learn just as much as the city kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Of course, makes sense. So, you got enough teachers? You got enough farmers? You need more farmers? Is the demand strong? What do you need?
We've always had really good support from the farming fraternity. So yeah, once people hear about it, they're often quite keen to have a go. I've got quite a good database of farmers now. There'd be over 200 of them that have been through the program. Teachers come and go more often. So as I said, it might fit into their curriculum for 1 or 2 terms, and then that cycle doesn't come around for another 3 years. That's how school planning kind of works, because of course there's so much for them to fit into a year. It doesn't happen. So they tend to work on 2 or 3 year cycles. But definitely always keen to to connect anybody who's interested. And we are trying to push for the Ministry of Education to support the program and to get it out into more and more schools. It'd be great if it was, in every school in the country. They could all benefit from it.
It certainly would be great, and because one of the things that comes out of it, consequences, is a real interest in a lot of these kids in actually pursuing a career in agriculture. That's come out of your report.
Yeah, I knew that that's what the program was doing, but when the statistic came back from our student survey just recently, and over half of them said that they could now be interested in a farming job or something that supports farming, I thought, wow, that's huge, you know, and obviously they're not all going to, but at least they now know it's an option and they can look at it. Whereas, you know, the school that we've been matched with, there were 27 kids who were sort of 9 and 10 years old. One of them had a connection in their family somewhere that was farming, 1 out of 27. Now, those kids now all know what farming looks like and what it does for not only their community, but all of New Zealand, because we talk to them about trade and export, where all our produce ends up around the world. And, you know, they got really interested in all the different parts of the process that gets food and fibre from farms around the world. We talked about, you know, our wool and the Wimbledon tennis balls, and we talked about the space shuttle that went round the moon recently, and it had New Zealand wool in the helmets of the astronauts. You know, those sorts of things just really engages kids at school.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, Maria, fantastic job here and an amazing program. Well done to you, and also Beef and Lamb actually for bringing this out, because I know it is making a huge difference. So good report. Where can people find this report actually? It's a very good one.
Yeah, so on our website, which is farmertime.co.nz, you'll find the report is down there if you scroll down a wee bit. It's in resources as well. And yeah, it is a read. It sort of details what the program, what impact the program had across last year, 2025. Yeah, so pop in and have a read, and there's all sorts of stories in there as well.
There's some pretty cool stories and some very, very good stats. Hey, look, I appreciate your time. Thank you. We'll talk again.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy.
All right, Marie Burke there, National 39 farmers, 30 or 40 farmers, over 1,000 kids in 44 schools. So that is a lot of kids getting some real impact made in their lives from rural New Zealand. So well done to all of the farmers who are doing that. It sounds like a fantastic program.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.